Hedera, ticker code HBAR, that's HBAR, is today's cryptocurrency. I really love the fundamentals of this coin, and the chart seems to be finally picking up a little bit. So as usual, we'll wrap our heads around the basics of the fundamentals of Hedera, then we'll go through the charts. So we'll talk about the USD value, its Bitcoin value, and its Ethereum value, and we'll give some price predictions at the end. I'm the Crypto Diet. I'm currently doing my Masters in Economics at Monash University. I'm also working here in Australia in the banking and finance industry. And it is my goal with this channel, as usual, to do every single video I do with honesty, unbiasedness, and fairness. If you like the sound of that, give me a like, give me a subscribe, and follow me on my journey as I cover each crypto one by one. So what is Hedera? Well, basically it's a publicly distributed ledger. We all know what ledgers are. If you don't know what it is, it's basically just a transaction record of buyers and sellers, essentially. In the world of crypto, it's actually used to be able to see who bought a specific coin, so something like Bitcoin, and who sold it. But it can actually go much broader than this. This isn't even scratching the surface of what a ledger can do. So you can even see here on Hedera's website, the ledger can be used for payments, fraud, data compliance, case studies, enterprise, gaming, healthcare. It's basically almost limitless what a ledger can do. It's just a transaction of one person and another interacting with each other for some specific transaction. That's what a ledger essentially is. It's very, very important, especially when you start going to corporate and governance and security and things like that. That's when ledgers are really important, because we always want a record of what's happening in case we need to identify a security breach or anything like that. But what Hedera has been able to do, or what in their opinion, what they've been able to do, is identify 5 key components of things that they need to get right in order to make a ledger incredibly powerful and utilized in a massive scale. The first one is performance, so transactions per second. And according to Hedera's website, they can handle 10,000 plus transactions per second. The second is security, of course. So because Hedera is a publicly listed ledger, it can be an easy target for hackers to want to target for whatever reason. And according to Hedera's website, they use a TLS 1.2 for all transactions and are digitally signed, and the hash graph is constructed using cryptographic hashes. All of these are standard required by protecting US government top secret information. So it's using very high level security here that the US government officials actually use to protect their top secret stuff. It also uses governance as its third part that it needs to get right. It will have up to 39 members, all from different enterprises. So they'll have some pretty high people up from places like Google, Apple, some really famous companies, to have equal voting rights and people who really understand the industry and what needs to be done in order to make a thriving governance that will look after the project and its people. They all have equal rights, like I said, so there's not going to be one person who has a centralized control over the network. The fourth one is stability. So this is an incredibly important one to get right, because this is what's happening with Ethereum at the moment. It just hasn't been able to sustain the growth it's been able to have. So a lot of crypto projects are looking at Ethereum and how they can plan forward as crypto continuously gets adopted. And what Hedera is saying is that with strong security and mature governance, it will be able to continuously be stable going into the future. And the last part is regulatory compliance. So we all know that all of these countries are looking at crypto at the moment, whether or not they should make it legal or not. It seems like a lot of countries are in favor of making crypto legal to some sort of capacity, but there are going to be a lot of regulatory compliance that they're going to have to go through. And Hedera is saying that they have already done a lot of things in order to abide by the regulatory guidelines with a lot of countries, such as the European Union's general data privacy regulations, and enable appropriate identity management to conduct sanctions, screening, and facility such as know your customer, and anti-laundering, such as anti-laundering money as well. Now, who are the founders of Hedera? Well, the first one is actually Mance Harmon here, and he has a very, very strong background here. CEO of a lot of companies dating back to the early 2000s, actually, performing quite well in some executive roles, as you can see, and is a technology guru here. And you can see he went to the University of Massachusetts and studied computer science as well, and also did his bachelor's in computer science in the 90s. So like I said, quite a seasoned individual, if I do say so myself. The second one is Lehman Bed here, and he is a very seasoned person as well, very good resume, CEO, worked very closely with Mance previously. They have over 25 years of friendship there and business partnership. So they have a very rich background, very successful, proven friendship and business partners. He is the founder and chief scientist at the Hedera hashgraph. He's also created the network itself for Hedera, which is quite impressive. As far as the token economics goes for Hedera, they've got transaction fees and proof of stake consensus, and that's what the tokens are being used for at the moment. There is currently a circulating supply of 14.24 billion HBAR going around with a total max supply of 50 billion. And it's very good because they still have a lot of supply left to push into the market, and that's something you really want to see. You don't want to see the max supply already in the market, already out there, because that doesn't really leave much left there for it to grow. So there's still a lot of growth within HBAR to continue to push through, even though it's at a very healthy market cap according to Live Coin Watch, which is rank 40. As far as the exchanges it's listed on, you've got Binance, you've got HitBTC, OKX, Upbyte, BitTrue, Binance US, KuCoin, Gate.io, and a few other exchanges here that you can be able to identify that you can purchase your HBAR from. But of course, Binance would be the big one that you'd really want to pick up if you're outside of America. And here we are comparing HBAR or Hedera to CoinCodex to its Ethereum value. So again, you'll see this with all my videos, and what you're looking for is as much green as possible. So we've got the 1 year mark outperforming Ethereum by 36%. The year to date, so that's the 1st of January to the 2nd of February, 2022, outperforming Ethereum by 5.87%. 6 months, 4.54%. It's outperforming Ethereum. Last 3 months down to Ethereum, 4.34%. 1 month, 1.55% outperformed Ethereum. 7 days, 5.5%. 24 hours down against Ethereum by 1%. So we're seeing not a whole lot of differentiation between its Ethereum value, which at least is a good thing that it's not losing value, but you really want to see these numbers go a little bit more higher, and preferably double digits. We've only got double digits in the 1 year mark. So what that tells me initially, you have to go into the charts and dig a bit deeper. But what I would see going from this is that you'd probably want to hold HBAR for a long time if you really want to outperform Ethereum in the long term. But you can see on the shorter time frames, Ethereum at the moment is outperforming HBAR. So here we are, let's have a look at Hedera against its USD value. So this is the charts here, major 50% tool here that you can see, the Michael Pizzino Fib GAN tool here, major 50% coming at 35 cents, call it 36 cents because it's almost there exactly on the dot. So 35.95 cents. So again, call it 36 cents for now. And that's the major 50%. We are quite heavily down from it, sitting at around 23 cents at the moment. So I do want to see us kind of start testing this 50% mark. That's about 57% away from the 50% Fibonacci retracement tool at the moment. Good news is that we didn't test the low that we put in on the 21st of July. So we can see that we did not find support on these areas. We didn't test these areas, which is fantastic to see. You don't want to see your cryptos testing too much of the low that they put in. It just makes them look weak. So a lot of cryptos were testing the old bottom they put in back in the mid last year. Not a good look. You want to see them kind of hovering and holding their own. And at least HBAR is doing that here. So it's finding some support around the 4th of December low. Dipped a little bit below it, but that's fine. Was able to find some support from the 4th of December and not having to find support to the 21st of June. So this is what you want to look at. Where are you finding support? If you're finding support deep below and you're starting to have to go really back into a few months and find where that support is, not a good look. You want it to sort of not test support too much. And I like the look of that we're testing support only on the 4th of December. And you can see some volume, not much volume. I want to see a little bit more volume coming in at the moment. Big sell-offs happening. This is happening across crypto at the moment. So you can see a big sell-off coming on the 21st of June. Tried to get up high, shut down, close low. Really bad look when you see something like that. You don't want to see that. You want to see the price go up. So that was a bad look. Tested low, good sell-off, high volume coming in on that sell-off day on the 22nd of July. High sell-off day coming in on the 24th of January. So you can see that these bars are quite big. So again on the 22nd and again on the 24th of January, but you can see they didn't move much. So the buyers and sellers were, the bulls and the bears were fighting quite hard on those days and really didn't move the price much. Once you start seeing this sort of stuff happen, so big sell-offs, not much movement in the bar, it means that the liquidations have normally dried up, generally speaking. And of course, that's confirmed with a bit of an increase in the price. So we're starting to head up a little bit more. Again, not much volume. I want to see a bit more green bars coming through. We're not seeing them yet, but it does look like the bleeding has stopped for HBAR at the moment. Hit 30 in the RSI, bouncing off it now. Most cryptos will do that. And that's why if you just buy 30 in the RSI, generally, it's a pretty good indication that the bottom might be in. Crypto, anything can happen. Now, let's have a look at where we currently are. So I've got my Fib extension tool. What do I always say in my videos? What is my favorite mark? The 50% mark is my favorite mark. The second mark is the 1 mark, which in this case is about 19.5 cents. Bounced off it perfectly, and now we're already up. Next mark we're going to be going at is the 0.786 mark. The other resistance area I'm looking at is the 618 mark. So you can see found resistance on there a few times. Really couldn't hold up on it. And unfortunately, that's just what happens with some cryptos. Some areas, they just find some severe resistance at it. So I'm really looking for HBAR to do it. So you could even just buy some HBAR short term, wait for it to go there, That's an easy 35% bag. Take some out at the 618 mark, see how it reacts. If it goes through, you've still got more in the bag. If not, you've already taken some profits, and you can just see how it reacts later on. Nothing wrong with checking the charts every day, seeing how things play out. Now let's have a look at Hedera against its BTC value. So you'll see here that similar chart. Good news is that the low we put in on the December, we didn't continue going in low. A lot of cryptos have actually been bleeding out to Bitcoin in January. You don't want to see that. You want to see your cryptos doing well against its BTC and Ethereum value. I wasn't able to find a Ethereum chart against Hedera, but I have to use the Bitcoin chart for now. But I like to use Ethereum because Ethereum is just a little bit more strict because it's outperforming Bitcoin. So if your crypto can outperform Ethereum consistently, that's a very strong crypto. But like I said, good news is that we're not having to test these lows that we tested in August or so when Bitcoin was doing very well, came up, had a really good value against Bitcoin. This would have been around September, and we're coming down at the moment. Good news though is that we're not dipping, like I said, below these lows too much. So that would have happened in early December, came up, maybe a bit of distribution here before we start going down, but I want to see how we react going on. Not the worst looking chart by any means against this BTC value, and you can see we're heading above, going at about 45 on the RSI. So we'll see how Hedera goes against its BTC value in the coming days, but no complaints as of right now for me at the moment. And to close it off, let's just do some price predictions for Hedera. So let's have a look at 70 on the RSI. So we know that Hedera hit 70 on the RSI in early September or mid-September, and that would take Hedera to 32 cents according to my RSI calculator. 32 cents on the RSI gets us to an increase of 42.49% roughly, increase from where the price currently is at the moment. Now, Hedera did hit 80 on the RSI on the 16th of September. So let's have a look at what 80 on the RSI would look like. And 80 on the RSI takes it to 42 cents, which is an 83% increase from where it currently is at the moment. And 90 on the RSI, that's if we get a blow off top, will take HBAR to 70 cents, which is about a 203% increase from where it currently is at the moment. So those are my thoughts on HBAR or Hedera. I think it's a fantastic fundamental coin. Ledgers, anything that has really big use cases is going to be really big in the future. And I really love the team behind it. They have great resumes to it. Chart is looking a little bit bad. Not the worst chart I've seen, but I definitely have high hopes for this crypto, especially in the long term when ledgers become even more important and they start looking at crypto projects to start putting their ledgers on it. That will be very interesting to see. So I hope this video helped. If it did, again, give me a like, give me a subscribe. I've got a new video coming out tomorrow. That's the VeChain video. That one is another one that I'm really keen to do. But until then, take care everyone, and I will see you on the next video.